I was 13 years old when I learned that some trips don't come with return tickets to who you were before. It wasn't the island itself that changed me. It was the silence that came after. The kind of silence that lives in your throat for decades, waiting for permission to become words. My name is Rachel. I'm 43 years old, and in the mid-1990s, I was taken to an island. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know why I was there. And for almost 30 years, I told myself it didn't matter. But then I heard a name that made headlines, a name that unlocked memories I'd buried so deep I'd convinced myself they never happened. I'm telling you this because I need to know if I'm remembering correctly. Because if I am, then that island wasn't just a vacation. It was the place where my childhood ended. It's 1995, maybe early 96. I'm in 8th grade. I'm living in a suburb outside Miami. Middle-class neighborhood. Palm trees lining the streets. Kids riding bikes after school. Pool parties on weekends. The kind of place where people leave their doors unlocked and think nothing bad can happen. My mom works as a receptionist at a dental office. My stepdad works in real estate development. At least, that's what he tells us. He's gone a lot. Business trips, he says. New York, Los Angeles, the Caribbean. I don't ask questions. In our house, you don't ask questions. I'm a good student. Not popular, but not invisible either. I'm on the yearbook committee. I play clarinet in the school band. I get mostly A's and B's. I'm the kind of kid teachers describe as sweet and well-mannered. I've learned early that being agreeable keeps you safe. My stepdad and I don't have what you'd call a close relationship. He's not mean, not affectionate either. He's just there. He pays the bills. He shows up to some of my school events. He takes us out to dinner on my mom's birthday. But there's something about the way he looks at me sometimes. Not often, just sometimes. A look that lasts a second too long. A comment about how I'm growing up fast. A hand on my shoulder that lingers. Nothing I can point to and say, that's wrong. Nothing my mom would believe if I told her. Just a feeling. One Thursday afternoon in late spring, I come home from school. My mom's car isn't in the driveway. She's working a double shift. My stepdad's home early. That's unusual. He's sitting at the kitchen table with a glass of whiskey. Also unusual. It's only 4 p.m. "Hey kiddo," he says. His voice is friendly. Too friendly. "Come sit down. I want to talk to you about something." I drop my backpack by the door. Every instinct in my body is telling me to run, but I don't. Because good girls don't run from their parents. They sit down and listen. "How would you like to go on a little trip?" he asks. "Just you and me. Think of it as a reward. You've been doing so well in school." I don't know what to say. My throat feels tight. "Where?" I manage to ask. He smiles. "It's a surprise, but I promise you'll love it. Tropical. Beautiful. You'll get to swim, relax, maybe meet some interesting people." I don't want to go. I want to say no. I want to tell him I'd rather stay home. But I'm 13, and 13-year-olds don't get to say no to their parents. So I say, okay. And just like that, my fate is sealed. 3 days later, we're at a small private airport. Not Miami International. Somewhere else. Smaller. Quieter. There are no commercial airlines here, just private jets. Hangars with closed doors. Men in sunglasses standing by expensive cars. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I packed a small suitcase, swimsuit, sunscreen, a book I'm reading for English class, my Discman and a few CDs. Normal vacation things. But nothing about this feels normal. My stepdad is talking to someone. A man in his 50s, maybe 60s. White hair, tan, expensive watch. They're laughing about something, shaking hands. The man glances at me. His eyes move up and down, assessing, like I'm a car he's thinking about buying. And then he looks away. I feel my skin crawl. "Come on," my stepdad says. "Time to board." The plane is small but luxurious. White leather seats, polished wood trim, a flight attendant who doesn't make eye contact with me. There are other passengers, 5, maybe 6 people, all adults. All men except for one woman who looks like she's in her early 20s. And then I see them, 2 other girls. One looks about my age, the other looks younger, maybe 11 or 12. They're sitting together in the back, staring out the window. Neither of them looks excited to be there. I want to ask them where they're going, who they're with, if they're okay. But something stops me. The silence in the cabin is too heavy, too deliberate. We're not supposed to talk. The flight is about 2 hours, maybe less. I lose track of time. No one speaks to me. No one offers me food or a drink. The adults are having conversations in low voices, business talk, names I don't recognize, deals I don't understand. I stare out the window, blue ocean, endless blue. And somewhere deep inside, I know I'm flying towards something I won't be able to come back from. When we land, the heat hits me immediately. It's thick, humid, the kind of heat that makes your clothes stick to your skin. The airport, if you can even call it that, is tiny, just a runway and a small building. No signs, no crowds, no security. There's a van waiting, black, tinted windows. We're driven down a narrow road, palm trees on both sides, glimpses of ocean through the leaves. And then we arrive. The house is massive. No, not a house, an estate, a compound, white stucco, red tile roof, floor-to-ceiling windows, columns, fountains, manicured gardens with flowers I've never seen before. It looks like something out of a movie, the kind of place celebrities live. And for a brief moment, I think maybe this won't be so bad. Maybe my stepdad was telling the truth. Maybe this really is just a vacation. But then I see the men. There are so many of them, older men, 50s, 60s, some even older. They're standing on the terrace, holding drinks, laughing, talking. Some of them are in swimming trunks. Some are in linen shirts and expensive sunglasses. And all of them turn to look when we arrive. Not at my stepdad, at me, at the other girls. I'm taken inside. The interior is just as overwhelming as the exterior. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, art on the walls that looks expensive. Everything is white, pristine, cold. A woman in her 40s, perfectly dressed, perfect makeup, approaches me. She's smiling. "You must be exhausted from the flight," she says. Her voice is warm, motherly. "Let me show you to your room." I follow her upstairs. The hallway is long, doors on both sides. Some are closed, some are open. Through one open door, I see another girl. She's sitting on a bed, staring at nothing. She doesn't look up when we pass. The woman opens a door at the end of the hall. "This is yours," she says. The room is decorated like a teenage girl's fantasy. Canopy bed with white lace curtains, pink walls, a vanity with a mirror, stuffed animals arranged on a chair. But it doesn't feel right. It feels staged, like a set designer's idea of what a young girl's room should look like. "Get some rest," the woman says. "Dinner is at 7. Someone will come get you." And then she leaves. I sit on the bed. I don't unpack. I just sit there, staring at the walls. And I realize something. There's no lock on the door. That first night, I'm brought downstairs for dinner. The dining room is huge. Long table, too many chairs, candles everywhere. The men from earlier are there. Some of them have changed into dinner clothes. Others are still in casual resort wear. There are more girls now. I count 6 of us. All teenagers, all quiet. We're seated between the men, like decorations. Dinner is served. Expensive food, lobster, steak, dishes I don't recognize. I'm not hungry. I push food around my plate. One of the men sitting next to me starts asking questions. Where are you from? What grade are you in? Do you have a boyfriend? His hand rests on the back of my chair, then on my shoulder, then on my lower back. I freeze. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm allowed to move. I don't know if this is normal. So I do nothing. And he takes that as permission. After dinner, we're told we can use the pool. Some of the girls go. I don't. I go back to my room and lock myself in the bathroom. I sit on the floor. I try to breathe. I think about my mom. I wonder if she knows where I am. I wonder if she'd come get me if I called her. But there's no phone in my room. And even if there was, what would I say? Mom, I don't like it here? Mom, the men are looking at me weird? She'd tell me I'm being dramatic. She'd tell me to be polite. She'd tell me my stepdad is doing something nice for me and I should be grateful. So I don't call. I just sit there and wait. The next few days blur together. I'm told to swim, to sunbathe, to relax and have fun. But nothing about this is fun. The men are always watching, always nearby. They ask questions. They offer compliments. They touch our shoulders, our hair, our backs. Some of the girls seem used to it. They smile. They laugh at the men's jokes. They sit on their laps by the pool. I can't do that. Every time one of them comes near me, my body locks up. But I learn quickly that resistance isn't an option. One afternoon, I'm by the pool. One of the men sits down next to me. He's older, 60s maybe, gray hair, Rolex on his wrist. You're very pretty, he says. I don't respond. Has anyone ever told you that? I mumble something. I don't even know what. He puts his hand on my knee, and I don't move because I've learned that moving makes it worse. Learn that resistance draws attention. Learn that the safest thing to do is freeze. So I freeze, and he takes that as an invitation. I don't want to tell you everything that happened on that island. Not because I'm ashamed, but because some things don't need to be described in detail for you to understand their weight. I'll tell you this. I was taken to rooms I didn't want to enter. I was touched in ways I didn't consent to. I was told things like, "You're special," and "This is our secret," and "Don't you want to make us happy?" And I learned that my body was no longer mine. I learned that no wasn't a word I was allowed to say, that resistance was punished with coldness, with anger, with the threat of being sent home in disgrace. I learned that the other girls and I were there for a reason, and that reason had nothing to do with vacation. I don't know how long I was on that island. 4 days, maybe 5. Time moved strangely. Some hours stretched forever, others disappeared entirely. When it was time to leave, I was told to pack my things. I was told to smile. I was told to thank everyone for their hospitality, and I did, because that's what you do when you've been broken. The flight home is silent. My stepdad sits across from me, reading a newspaper, acting like nothing happened. I stare out the window. I don't cry. I don't speak. I'm hollow. When we land back in Florida, he turns to me and says, very calmly, "You had a good time, didn't you?" I nod. Good. Your mom doesn't need to know about this trip. She wouldn't understand. It'll be our little secret. And that's it. That's the end of the conversation. We drive home. I walk into my house. My mom is in the kitchen making dinner. "How was your trip?" she asks. "Fine," I say, and I go to my room. The days after the island are strange. Everything looks the same. My school, my friends, my bedroom, my mom. But I'm not the same. I can't focus in class. I can't sleep at night. I can't stand to be touched, even casually. My best friend hugs me in the hallway and I flinch so hard she asks if I'm okay. I say yes. I always say yes. I start taking longer showers, 2, 3 showers a day. I scrub my skin until it's raw. I throw away the clothes I wore on the island. I can't stand to look at them. I develop habits, checking door locks, avoiding being alone with my stepdad, wearing baggy clothes. My mom notices I've gotten quieter. She asks if something's wrong. I say no. Because what would I even say? Mom, the trip wasn't a vacation? Mom, I think something bad happened to me, but I'm not sure because everyone acted like it was normal. She wouldn't believe me. Or worse, she would believe me and blame me. So I stay silent. Weeks pass, then months, then years. I go to high school, I go to college, I get a job, I have relationships. From the outside, I look fine, functional, normal. But inside, I'm carrying the island. It's always there, in the back of my mind, in my body, in the way I react to certain situations. I can't be intimate without dissociating. I can't trust older men. I can't relax on vacation. And I never, ever talk about it. Because I've convinced myself that if I don't name it, it didn't really happen. That if I stay quiet, I can pretend I'm okay. It's July 2019. I'm sitting in my living room, scrolling through my phone, and I see a headline. Jeffrey Epstein arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. At first, the name means nothing to me, just another rich guy in trouble. But I click on the article, and I see a photo. A private island, a massive white mansion, palm trees, blue ocean. My chest tightens. I scroll further, more photos, aerial views of the estate, the layout of the property, the terrace, the pool, and I recognize it, not just the architecture, the feeling. I start reading everything I can find, articles, court documents, testimonies from survivors. I read about Little St. James Island, about the girls who were brought there, about the powerful men who visited, and I realize something I've been avoiding for 24 years. I was one of those girls. I don't know for certain. I was 13. I didn't know the name of the island. I didn't see passports or flight logs. But the timeline matches. The location matches. The setup matches. The way we were treated, the way the men looked at us, the secrecy, the fear, it all matches. I spend days in a fog. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't function. My partner asks what's wrong. I can't explain. I think about going to the authorities, but what would I say? I think I was on Epstein's Island in the mid-90s, but I'm not sure. And the man who took me is dead, and I don't have proof. Who would believe me? I read stories from other survivors, women who came forward, women who were dismissed, attacked, called liars. And I think, I can't do that. I can't put myself through that. So I stay silent. Again. But this time, the silence is different. This time, it's not because I'm afraid of what people will think. It's because I'm afraid of what I'll have to admit to myself. That I was trafficked. That I was abused. That the people who were supposed to protect me handed me over to predators. That my childhood ended on an island whose name I didn't even know. I'm 43 now. Almost 30 years have passed since that trip. I still don't know for certain where I was. Maybe it was Epstein's Island. Maybe it was a different island in the same network. Maybe I'll never know. But here's what I do know. I was 13 years old. I was taken somewhere against my will. I was put in situations no child should ever be in, and I was told to stay silent about it. That's not a vacation. That's not a reward. That's trafficking. That's abuse. That's exploitation. For years, I blamed myself. I thought, if it was really that bad, I would have screamed. I would have fought. I would have run. But I was 13. 13. And I did what children do. I trusted the adults around me. I believed them when they said I was safe. I believed them when they said I should be grateful. I didn't have the language to name what was happening. I didn't have the power to stop it. So I survived it. And then I buried it. For decades, I told myself it didn't matter, that it was in the past, that I was fine. But trauma doesn't stay buried. It surfaces in your relationships, your sleep, your body, your fears. It shapes you in ways you don't realize until you're forced to look at it. And when I saw those photos in 2019, I was forced to look. I'm speaking now because I can't carry this alone anymore. Because every time I see another headline, another documentary, another woman coming forward, I feel it, that old familiar weight. And I wonder how many of us there are. How many other girls who were taken somewhere, who were told it was special, who were groomed to believe they were chosen. How many of us were silenced? How many of us are still silent? How many of us are still carrying islands inside our bodies? I don't know if my story will change anything. I don't know if anyone will believe me. I don't even know if I believe myself sometimes. But I know this: silence protects the wrong people. It always has, and I'm done protecting them. If you were taken somewhere you didn't want to go when you were young, if you were told to keep secrets that felt too heavy to carry, if you've spent your life wondering if what happened to you was real, or if you imagined it, or if it was somehow your fault, it was real. You didn't imagine it, and it wasn't your fault. You were a child, and children are never responsible for the crimes committed against them. I don't have all the answers. I don't have proof. I don't have closure, but I have my voice, and after 30 years of silence, I'm choosing to use it. My name is Rachel. I'm 43 years old, and this is my untold year. Thank you for listening.